The Michael Waddell podcast is presented by Spandau Arms in partnership with Folds of Honor and Spartan Magnaswitch System. Be sure to like and subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts.
It's kind of like the same people who hate on somebody for fanning or hunting with a crossbow, whatever. That's the same type of people who look at you like, man, it must be nice. Or look at me like, man, it must be nice, because they ain't got a clue the back work that goes into it. Like it was just like you wake up like, hey man, yeah, I got an idea, I want to do this show. Like they have no idea the legwork it took to even get to where current day, like what the grind and the sacrifices that were made in life. No,
Phillip Culpepper, what's been happening, dude?
Dude, I feel a little bit ashamed because I feel half of me kind of grew up here in this place, and I didn't even know this room was here. It's like a hidden vault. I ain't been here like a year.
If you look around this room, you was either with me on so many of these or videoed a lot of them.
Holy cow. Yeah. And then the ones that I didn't, I dang sure remember. I mean, I was trying to think, where's the Kansas deer at? Is that the Kansas deer that McKenzie videoed?
I think so.
The one I remember I was still in middle school, I think. But I do remember the Indiana deer. Yeah. That's the one I'll never forget. I still tell people whenever that clip comes up that people never knew, because we were going to hunt all day that day. There was a Nutty Buddy. We were eating Nutty Buddies, and I sit that when you seen him coming, I sit that Nutty Buddy on the camera arm.
Didn't we kill that deer about lunch?
Like dead on 12 noon. Because remember, he was
Al, wasn't it? Going to bring us a sandwich
Al
or something?
was coming to let us warm up because it was
freezing cold.
Dropping down. Yeah, we were going to get in the truck for 15 minutes, heat our feet up, and then get back in the stand.
Well, if you just tuning in, or if you're seeing this or listening, Phillip Culpepper is joining us. And let me tell you, Phillip and I go way back. I mean, literally, I think I started working in the hunting industry when I was 18 or 19, but you might have started working way before me. I think you was 14 or 15.
Yeah, technically, I guess if you call packing boxes at Realtree Warehouse in the hunting industry, yeah,
That's in the hunting industry?
The week before I turned 16, so.
Golly, dude. I remember, and I knew I'd like Phillip right away. One is he was passionate turkey hunter. And me and you both like Hank Jr. I think there wasn't nobody other than maybe Andy Griggs that knew as many Hank Jr. songs.
That was the bond. Yeah. They were Rhett Akins. So that was like
and Rhett Akins. That's right.
Gosh, man, that's been, I remember when because my dad, obviously being from around Columbus and everything, had ties to Realtree, and he knew Bill back before Realtree was anything. My granddaddy actually bought boats from Bill's daddy. On
Leon,
Leon, whenever they had Leon Jordan Marine. And, but I remember my dad had stayed in touch with Bill before my dad ever started working at Realtree. And we went in there when I was 14. I don't even know if you remember, but I think we were 14, me, you, and Bill, and David, and my dad. We went down to B. Merrill's, the old one down on Airport Thruway. We went down there and ate wings. And then that's whenever I was really getting into it, watching the videos. And I was like, man, like because I always wanted to be a game warden. She's like, what can you do that's going to be in the outdoors? Like, just be a game warden. I'm like, that's the only thing I know that you can be in the outdoors and be around, like, be in the woods all the time. And still, until I started watching all the videos, the All-Stars of Spring and stuff, I'm like, dude, I was like, fell in love. Like, what do I have to do to, like, figure out how to run camera? Like, what do I got to do? So that's whenever my mom took me down there when I was the week before I turned 16, could drive, and I filled out an application. And that's when I got the call.
Working in the warehouse.
Coming in the warehouse packing boxes. So I did that for a year and a half before I ever even. And that was before I remember you'd come through and get waters and stuff, and I'd like anybody in the video, I'd try to nitpick them to death, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I already met you and I remember you, but I really remember you when you're right. We would, you'd be in the warehouse and you'd come in the video department and you'd kind of like, hey man, what's up, buddy? Y'all been chasing turkeys? And I have, and we started hitting it off and talking a little bit and here and there, and then. And next thing you know, it kind of got to be a common thread. It's like David Blanton, the guy was like, hey, man, we ought to look at this Phillip kid. He really loves it. And I feel like, not to take the credit, but I think I was one of the first ones. I was like, man, when we started getting road trips started.
Right. Because this would have been, that just time frame, that would have been like, I graduated in 2003, so that would have been 2002-ish.
This correct.
This would have been
and
like, so I graduated when I was 17, so this would have been the first season was being filmed at that time.
That is correct, because 2001, 2, and then road trips aired for me on 2003. Now I don't know what season they're in now. I think it started over not long ago. I think Tyler started it over, but I remember when we were doing that, and that thing was on such a low budget, road trips was where we was going, and I was videoing a lot around my house. We was begging, stealing, borrowing places to hunt. And so I knew how much.
The time you were living in the barn or Levi's.
Yeah, I was living in a barn. I was living in a barn
because I remember
down by the river.
Yeah, we had because I remember we had my dad at the time we had deer rights to hunt that place that Bill leased, and so I'd swing men sometimes. And because I mean there was one time because we were acquaintances, I guess. Right. I remember there was one time I pulled in. It was a bad day. One of them days I'm like, man, just picking right something, and a push mower or something was broke, and you was pissed off, and I was like,
it was always.
And I was
something.
like, oh man, I think my cousin was with me. I was like, man, damn, it's a bad day to cover. And then I remember like that next week or the week after you came like, man, I'm sorry. Like I was a jackass. I'm sorry.
That wasn't a bad time of my life, really, to be honest.
And that's kind of like where the reset hit, and then we kind of like started talking more about turkey calling and stuff like that. So
yeah, we got into turkey calling. And I remember the trip. I remember, or not even a trip. I remember specifically, I had. It's a time, it still is, a good close buddy, Rhett Akins, coming in. And I remember coming to you and I was like, Phillip, would you mind helping me? It wasn't even necessarily, I don't think I went and talked to Realtree specifically.
I think I was probably still in the warehouse.
I think for sure. And I was like, man, Phillip's a good hunter.
I just like picked the camera up from my dad, just taking and just like get what we can get.
And I was like, Phillip,
I might have had to take off work from Realtree to do that.
You might have did. Because I remember just saying, Phillip, you need to meet Rhett. One is you love country music. And Rhett knows every Hank Jr. song. And so, obviously, you and Rhett hit it off and become buddies. And y'all been buddies ever since.
Yeah, and that would have been that would have been 17 or 16 at the time. So yeah,
you was really young. I remember that like yesterday.
God, it's hard to believe it's been that long.
It is hard to believe.
I turned 40 this year, so it's been a whew.
I know. I know, man. It's so much to unpack when I sit down and get a chance to
and you is like you say, you were a big, obviously, voice of support behind me because the first official like filming trip once I started running camera and David pulled me in the video department to do a little bit of editing, mainly editing, and then kind of learn I kind of went on the camera stuff on my side, kind of on the side doing it, trying to figure out, picking whether it's John Tate, Mark Womack, whoever it may be, picking everybody's brain. Alan Lennon called, just like, what is this? It's like looking at Alien,
Yeah.
But when I started running camera a little bit, my spring break year of high school was whenever we went down to Vandy's.
Yes.
And it was when I was like, because obviously it was like being in the middle of a rock show anyway, just getting to run camera for Realtree. Road trips was taking off. Then we get down there and Eddie Salter's down there. And I'm like, God, like this, like
the OG,
like this is it. Like I could like Matt Moret. I mean, I'm like, dude, like this is it. Like
that's right.
It ain't never gonna be topped. Like I don't know where to go from here.
You was video. I remember we stuck you with Jeff Simmons.
Yeah. And I was so like didn't sleep the whole driving down there because I think we drove part of the night. Got up early, didn't sleep. Like fired up. And like I'll never forget me and Jeff. Went and sat in the swamp bottom, and I fell asleep. And I fell asleep on the camera, and I woke up and I could hear the turkey spitting and drumming. He ain't gobble or say nothing.
No way, slipped in there.
And I started a video, and he come around this big old swamp. But you know how Vanny had the big old swamp chestnuts?
Yep.
And he shot him, and Jeff. I'm like,
oh yeah, he wasn't waiting on the camera.
You get him? I said, man, he was behind that big tree the whole way till right there. I was like, I got what I could.
I remember that hunt. You got it.
Yeah, it was on road trips. Yeah. Who knows? You might have been seeing him coming for 200 yards, but I was asleep. I like literally was remember them big old cameras we used to have?
Dude, those were
that was back in the day.
trips.
That was like a true because we went from there. I'm not so sure we didn't do that, then do Country Goes Hunting back in the day.
I think we did. I think we went straight from Vandy's to Country Goes Hunting. Man, that was so fun. You remember, man, we used to have the best time. We sat and drank
dude, it was
cold
a ball.
beer. I remember old Big Bird, Van's son, Van.
Yeah.
Remember, he drank him on Miller Lights. And I had never, a lot of times people just throw beer and soft drinks in a cooler or whatever it is. And I've never, you could measure the distance from bottle cap and they would stick in there perfectly.
That's them long necks.
Long neck. And he'd have them in there to a T. He knew exactly how many get in there. He was the one who told me one time I iced down some beer. And this would be interesting for listeners. And I told this yesterday to my wife. He told me when you put beer in a cooler, or Coca-Cola, whatever it is, he said it's 7 minutes they're cold enough to drink.
Cold ice water.
He said 7 minutes.
I've got the same look from my wife. Like what? Like
yep.
That's the biggest, all the things you've done. Like that's the redneck engineering you got.
I think it was Van Collins who told me that.
I believe it, because it was almost like a redneck cart girl.
You know, there's a part, I don't know if he was this way, but there's a part of me that used to think, oh, you got to ice things down, a day before, or like early in the morning. But
like cooking, like, almost like barbecue. Like you always got to be on it for hours.
I'm praying somebody's listening to this. It's like they're stopping, maybe they're listening to this, going down the road.
I don't even know if Cohen knew that.
I don't know who might know.
He should, if hanging around you as much as he has.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I've ever said that, but it stuck with me, and I actually tried it.
I
true. Actually tried it. 7 minutes.
Yeah. It's crazy.
But, man, we used to have an epic time. We killed so many turkeys, and we had so many larger-than-life personalities around that. You're right. Matt Moret would come. We'd have Eddie Salter was there. Matt and Eddie was the one who got me down there. And then, obviously, when I realized how much you loved hunting turkey, I thought this would be a perfect trip to bring you down, to be around those guys and practice, running a camera. And it wasn't long after that. You got out of the warehouse and you was full-time
that was
camera.
Kind of the launching pad, to where then it was obviously learning the editing side and the production side of it. But, I was still in school and, I made an attempt at college, but it was because I'll never forget this would have been going into the second or third year of road trips. It was in the summer, and Steve Finch was still there at the time, and it was, I think his father-in-law or somebody had passed away, and me and you had to finish the show out. And this was back when you laid in the tape, and me and you were up there like all night.
When we was trying to edit that?
Yeah, we edited, finished the show, and I'll never forget. Ooh. It was like, which you probably, you would never say this back then, but now I'll never forget. This is how times were tough. Here I am, I'm like 17, trying to figure things out, because you were like posting it, finishing it out, and I was trying to get it ready. We were doing like the 4 segments of the show, going Outdoor Channel. And I think we stayed up there all night, and I think I left and went home for 30 minutes, and I grabbed some chicken and some Keystone Light and came back. We had like a 6-pack of Keystone Light, and we finished that show.
I do remember that.
And then that's when you were like, dude, I don't know what you're doing in college, but you like maybe – I think when Steve was moving on and everything, he was like, man, you don't do college. You need to just go full time.
Yeah, he knew.
David Blanton told me, he was like, if you're not in college, I'm going to fire you. He goes like, you have to go to college.
I remember David was like, he was kind of a father figure.
No, David was like, you got it, because he knew my passion. My passion would outweighed my sense, obviously, at that time of what I needed to do. And he was like, you got to be in school if you're going to work here until you're no longer able to be in school. And so I tried it for a little bit, and then it was, then I went in, full bore.
He knew once you got in that Chevy with me, and I was taking you to meet Eddie Salter and Moret.
Yeah,
and you was a turkey guy. It was over.
The old Blazer.
Had them old CDs of Hank Jr.
Yeah.
That Blazer.
The old Blazer had the primer doors.
Well, yeah, because I hit a doe. I hit a deer, and then I hit a deer on the other door. So they both. That's
back when everything was metal. So
yeah,
it was like,
I had them both caved in, and then I hit and tore my bumper up. So I got me one of them big brush guards going in the front.
Oh yeah.
And then I hit another deer in the door. So anyway, but I was like, well,
that was the good old days.
Yeah, it was, man. We're going to stop for a quick break, but please don't go anywhere. We got so much to come.
Spandau Arms was founded with a simple idea. The best part of hunting isn't the gear, it's the memories. From the first rooster rise of the season in the tall grass to the last second opportunity on the target buck as sunset closes in. Spandau believes firearms should be built to perform, priced to be accessible, and designed to become an essential piece of your hunting story. Their lineup includes field-ready shotguns and precision-driven rifles built for hunters, competitors, and recreational shooters who know that quality and dependability matter more than the hype. Born from the experience of American hunters and crafted by generations of gunmakers, each Spandau firearm is built for real-world performance in the moments that matter. A wingman flies close with unwavering dedication. At Folds of Honor, a wingman stands with families of America's fallen or disabled heroes. The burial flag given to their grieving family is folded 13 times. As a wingman, your $13 monthly donation provides scholarships to their spouses and children. 13 folds, $13. Become a wingman. Join today at foldsofhonor.org.
You fit the mold, Phillip, because I hear people number one thing, you get this now, I get it all the time, and anybody in the hunting industry that actually hunt and video and put out episode shows, you got Hunt Club going right now, but everybody says, man, it must be nice, man, I'd love to do your job. And I was like, man, you would enjoy it for a little while, but I don't know that people understand. If you don't absolutely obsess with it, it don't work. And I knew right away, I'm like, man, this young guy, all he is worried about is a gobbling turkey, a good Hank Jr. song, and a cold beer. That's it. I mean, there was nothing, maybe some mashed potatoes or something.
And it was like, it is like, it obviously is a passion and truly, but to do it, and I don't even want to say, this may sound very egotistical, but like at this level, like if you're going to do it and try to be successful to where, when I went all in doing it, obviously working at Realtree, for 18 plus years of honing a craft and doing it like, and, if you're going to do it at that level and to try to truly make a living and to getting by on it, like, you better be damn good. And like there ain't no rainy days of like, well, we got the day off. Like, I mean, even now, like I feel like I've come a long way from then. Like my off days now are for my family. Like if there ain't no just like, oh, it ain't deer season or ain't turkey season, we got off day. There's something to be done, and I mean, you when you went out and started a bone collector, anybody that's got their own business, like there better be. I was watching the episode the other day from around here, and Paw was out here. Is like, if you ain't doing something, it's because you don't want to, because there ain't something to be done. So I mean, I think there's something to be said. I mean, there's obviously drive behind it, whatever direction you go in life. And it's like, you better damn sure be sure it's something you want to do, because it ain't all sunshine and roses. There's days that just suck. I mean, it's going to be,
right.
It's just, it ain't fun, but you got to grind through it. That don't mean I don't still love to hunt and love to kill turkeys and love to kill deer as much as I ever have, but there's still, when you throw in the aspect of, okay, this is my hobby, this is what I grew up loving to do around playing baseball, to now you ain't got no choice. It ain't like you can, sometimes wait for the best weather. Like you got to do it. I mean, it's a living,
I mean, it's literally like what it'd be like to be a musician, to throw your 6-string in the truck and drive to Nashville, and I'm going to make it. And then once you wade off in there so far and to a certain age that you might become, it's no turning back.
Right.
Meaning you've got to sing and play this guitar. I mean, certainly you can go back and fall back on something else, and you were the epitome of that. I mean, once you was in, you was neck deep. You no college.
Well, and the thing about it was, I mean, I was very blessed from the roots of starting at Realtree and hanging around still to this day. I've seen a lot of people in the industry, the cream of the cream. Steve Finch's, Mark Womack, John Tate's, from the foundation of whether it's getting footage and producing it and organizing it and putting that content out there. But, even that side of it, like when I can remember watching VHS tapes of All Stars of Spring, like I had the drive to do it. Even whenever I went to 16 on that trip filming, I had the drive to want to do it, but I never was like, man, that's it right there, I want to hunt, like, or man, I want to be Waddell, or I want to be Bill Jordan, or I want to be David Blake. I just like, how is it possible for me to do something that I can get in the woods as much as often? I knew that was through filming. Yeah. And then through that being experienced, that I fell in love with the storytelling aspect of it, to where obviously everything evolves into, who knows what's going to be next. But I'm just saying that side of it, like I fell in love with the storytelling. Like, man, I think I can do, like obviously I thought I had a niche in my own idea, but I was like, man, there's a platform there to tell it. And that's kind of where Hunt Club came from.
Right. I knew that you was going to make it working in the hunting industry, because I remember early on we were in that grind, and so many people, cameramen, people that work full time for a company, but there was always something going on. There was always somebody there to guide. There was always a turkey that needed video. There was always a field that needed plowed. There was always need scouting. Everybody thinks obviously that, we got, I guess, 7 people out there, with ropes tying down turkeys and deer.
Because I remember the first years of Realtree, I would work 2 days. I literally rotated. I worked like 3 different jobs. I would work 2 days in the warehouse packing boxes. Then when my dad finally got hired running Bill's place, I'd go get on a tractor for a day and a half, and then I'd work in the video. So I was like, I was like a utility player of like.
And a lot of that was we were those guys. We were
I remember
the guys scouting
you and Al
working.
Linecal, how many times we plant chufa?
Oh, all the time.
I mean, I remember back whenever we was running stuff, we had that old one of them. We had that John Deere and that long tractor, and we couldn't cut it off because the starter was shot on it. We had to roll the part somewhere to roll it off.
Right.
And the oil pump went out. I mean, it was like, but then
was working on it.
That was way before the days of documenting stuff like that, and it was all just to try to get footage.
Yeah, putting food plots in over at some of Bill's leases and stuff, and it was weird because when you think about those times, there was so many people that worked within the company. They could have showed up, but I never would see them. They would be there on the corporate, punch the clock, and be there their whatever time, make sure everybody knew they was in the parking lot. But it was time, and it's a Saturday, it was a holiday, and it's like, hey, man, who wants? Phillip would always be there. You would always be there. As a matter of fact, me and you would always be there. There was a handful of people that would, and I realized, I was like, man, Phillip's going to outwork everybody. And I think, too, even shifting gears a little bit, because I want to talk about Hunt Club. There's a lot, like I said, I want to unpack with you because I've known you since literally before you had a beard, before you even thought that you could grow a beard. But it's crazy because I think you are the closest to can understand what our job was. A lot of people think it's just to get footage. A lot of people think it's just to go hunt farm deer, farm turkeys, whatever it is. But even when from the standpoint of like turkey hunting, you and I both did a lot of guiding. We would have different retailers coming in, outdoor writers. We'd have celebrities, some that we'd video, some we wouldn't. And so from a turkey hunting perspective, and when you talk about hunting with those OGs of turkey hunting, the Eddie Salter, the Matt Moritz, Dick Kirby, you spent a lot of time with Dick Kirby. Those dudes, I said the other day in a post, they didn't hunt turkeys, they killed turkeys. So that certainly rubbed off on us because our job wasn't ever to let something win. Yes, we tried to experience a good hunt, but we were there to, hey, I remember many times like, make sure this guy gets one now.
Well, yeah, and whatever, it don't, and you know, it was the days of like, if you got 3 people lined up coming in a week, it don't matter what you did yesterday. He
Start
don't care.
over.
Number 2 don't. I mean, for lack of better words, your number 2 guy don't care. Don't give a damn what number 1 did. He just wants to see.
That's right.
You know, kind of like. And again, this was which. You know, of one thing I don't want to call a regret. One thing I really wish I could have been there for the days of the Earnhardt because I was a huge Earnhardt fan. But the stories you tell me about Earnhardt are saying, "Damn, Waddell, what's the problem? Ain't you a world champion? Like, why? Like, what's wrong? Why can't you call turkey up
30 minutes into the hunt with me and David Blanton. He's like, what's the deal? He would look at David, I swear. Earnhardt would look at David and said, you've been had that comedian over here, hadn't you? Waddell, you're world champion. I'm like, Mr. Earnhardt was only 30 minutes into the hunt.
But point being is like that to where it's like everybody expected to where it's like it may be your 30th day of the season, but like it's their first, and you better act like it's their first because that side of it, not only did you have to perform on trying to get a turkey in front of them, if you weren't filming it too, is the entertainment of wearing the realtree hat of entertaining and you know being there on time, picking them up, getting them waters. Yeah, I mean it was a job.
Having coolers iced down from Yoo-Hoos to chocolate milks to honey, everything in there. And then I'd like to see some of these old soft mama boys right now who talks about let them win. I'd like to see them taking Dale Earnhardt hunting and they say let's just let them win.
Yeah, we'll get them tomorrotter.
Yeah,
I ain't got
that's
tomorrow.
That's why they mad. Well, because they want to kill turkeys.
That was
and
back
they do,
in the days of like you ain't got no tomorrow. Like that's just today. This better happen now. Like figure out a way to make it happen.
Tell somebody to just give $50, $100 to NWTF to go hunting.
Yeah,
with me or you, and they show them like, hey guys, just so you know.
Well, and that's the biggest.
We're not really going to try to kill
one of the misconceptions too. Or say you got a big in the umbrella of like a realtree, a big Walmart buyer. Granted, you keep everything legal, but it's like. Granted, nobody was holding somebody by a gun to the head, but it's like, do what you got to do to get a damn turkey kill because this is a very important person. So keeping everything inside the spectrum of being legal, like that's where it was. I feel like the cream rose to the top. We're like, we figured out how you got to do what you got to do. Like whether it's crawling, whether it's scratching the leaves, whether it's not calling, whether it's paying attention to where somebody quit on a turkey and go back in there and try to kill them. It don't matter what it is. Figure out how to manipulate what you can to get one in shotgun range.
That's right. And everybody was different. But that's the element of our business in the industry that people don't understand, I think, especially those that get social media warriors that, none of them have ever approached me in person, which I wish they would. I would love that.
No, yeah,
but
100%.
They don't. But they're really bold and bad on social media. But they don't realize what it was. It's a different situation when, first of all, you do have pride. You're right. We never was illegal. We were always there. But when you got somebody, especially a hero of yours, that's looking at you and like, hey, you going to get me a turkey? They wouldn't, I mean, they didn't have any, ego to say, hey, man, Phillip, I want you to put me on one. Can we? And then everything was different. Sometimes you'd have somebody that was all about getting to the Waffle House and eating breakfast, and you knew you got to
roll the punches.
But most of the people, I would say 9 out of 10, I was going to ask you this question, 9 out of 10 people, when they showed up, they ready to go. If you want to hunt all day, they're ready to go. They want to kill a turkey.
Oh, yeah. And again, and they feed off you too, to where like, look, I mean, they're more, and again, I do think that's where success comes from too, is taking it personal. Like, look, I've even talked to my wife now, and I was like, why are you so upset? Like, cause it's a job. Like, it's like, whether it's a sweepstakes winner or whoever it is, like, it's a job. Like, this is what our goal is to do. But I'm like, at the same time, those people who are hunting, like, they don't want to get back and be like, man, I wonder if he's like half-assing it. Or I wonder if but again, there's more people are happy or okay with like, man, we didn't get one, knowing you gave it 130% versus, you know what, guy, I think he really didn't care if we killed one or not. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's right.
I've taken several people. It's not that you come out on top every time, even like buyers or partners of Realtree going, man, you know what? They had good things to say, saying, look, he busted his eye. I just want to let you know, like it was, there wasn't no 8 to 5. It was daylight to dark. Ain't no clock puncher. Like, it was, there was a heck of an experience. And I think that goes a long way with anybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
and we would, and it's funny. A lot of this comes out of, the point of a lot of people with decoys. A lot of people, which always proves to me, if you want to see somebody that gets tore up about using a decoy, and they say that it's 100%, it proves they don't know jack shit about turkey hunting. It knows they're not as experienced as they think, because they think it's 100% fatality rate. And if that was the case, I would agree with them. And I would say, man, you know what? This thing should be banned. But they speak out of such ignorance. But a lot of times, very rarely do we have to even use that. I don't even like decoys.
And the thing is, though, like, I'm convinced, even on the decoy side of things, that it reminds me of, I don't even know if you remember this. You remember when at the Realtor, this would have been, I was 17, 18, we had the little cabinets in the back of the video, the little letter cabinet where people wrote in, like back when people wrote in letters.
Yeah.
And somebody wrote in a letter about not being clean shaven enough on camera. And I'm like, that's automatically, that's always made an impression on me, because that's the people who kind of like bitch and moan about a certain tactic. That's where I automatically categorize them. Like, that's probably some descendants of the guy who has a problem with somebody with a beard hunting on camera. Like,
it is.
Like, if you're going, like, if it ain't a decoy, it's going to be, oh, it must be nice to hunt out of a box blind, or it must be nice to be able to feed, or it must be, I'm like, they're going to find something, and they're going to try to nitpick at whatever they think you're successful with. So, like, and it's like, it's a baseless argument. So it's kind of like what do you, it just makes them feel good. Like, what do you accomplish? Like, they don't. And really, it's so easy to argue, because really, if you use it, and anybody that was looking at just, okay, well, I tell you what you do. Go to the woods, and if you want to say it's a strutter decoy, only put out a strutter decoy and only show it to turkeys, and then watch your success rate. The difference is, the reason they get so mad at us is we sometimes will yield a pretty high success, but keep in mind. Not to cut you off before you finish, the one thing that we have failed on, that I feel like, on document things, and I can say this about us as long as we've turkey hunted together, is we have not come across and shown on camera the failures.
No, we haven't showed the failures.
That's for lack of better words, that's hit the cutting room floor of saying we've cut out of how it looks too good to be true, to where people don't realize how many times we've screwed up a hunt with a decoy.
It screws it up a lot. And to keep in mind, I don't even look at that we screwed it up, because if you pay attention, if you really had it and we did a better job of documenting, it was a last resort.
100%.
And it didn't work. And they turned. And Cohen and I hunted a lot the last several years, and we've got all these examples of turkeys literally turning and running. I've had set up in situations where I had a turkey coming in on a string to a call. If I had no decoys, I'd have killed him. But I had a little young 5-6-year-old kid that I was really praying that, just like these guys were saying, was a foolproof situation. I was hoping that would happen, because I wanted the turkey to go on the strut, come walking right into the decoy and be mesmerized, to give me enough time to hopefully not this kid be seen and have him get a good ethical shot versus a turkey coming to a call, yelping and walking around me. This kid's going to have a harder time.
Just hard to adjust.
And I'm thinking, dadgummit, I think if I hadn't put that
Yeah, but
decoy
you even
out,
look on, I would like to look on the stats on paper because I know I'm hard-headed, but like when you get that perfect turkey, like the Hertzberg turkey that comes in and you just boom, smoke him, how many times you're like, all right, we're back in the game. It's working. Like we can kill them out now. How many times mess ups does it take? Because then you're like, you got it out front every time using. You're like by about the 7th time. Because even with Ethan, I'm like, God, it ain't working like 6 times. You think you're just not just don't show them the decoy. I feel like one perfect turkey has saved probably 10 because if you just didn't have a decoy or just had a hen out there, you'd kill one. But people think it's just like you walk out there with above your head. And you're going to kill turkeys.
Again, whether they don't want to do it or not, and they don't like that adrenaline of a turkey running in when it does work, all it does, anybody, and I don't care if it's industry, I don't care who it is, because here's the deal. What they can accuse me, and you too, there has been a lot, and mo turkeys that I've seen dead. A lot. And in that, is a lot of experience of knowing what it took to kill them.
Yeah.
You have too. I'm like Marshawn Lynch, run them over and over and over and over. And that's what it is when it comes to kill turkeys. That was our job. And so for them to say that proves they don't know anything at the level they think they do because they haven't had the experiences. Does it work? And when it works, is it insane? Yes. However, as you know, when you're guiding for somebody who paid money, or in this situation,
or donate money, like giving money. To the cause, the bird that we love so much. How many charity hunts have we done on that to where it is literally for a good cause?
We're just getting started. Hold on, we got a little bit more coming after this.
Spandau Arms was founded with a simple idea: the best part of hunting isn't the gear, it's the memories. From the first rooster rise of the season in the tall grass, to the last second opportunity on the target buck as sunset closes in. Spandau believes firearms should be built to perform, priced to be accessible, and designed to become an essential piece of your hunting story. Their lineup includes field-ready shotguns and precision-driven rifles built for hunters, competitors, and recreational shooters who know that quality and dependability matter more than the hype. Born from the experience of American hunters and crafted by generations of gunmakers, each Spandau firearm is built for real-world performance in the moments that matter.
You know, it's funny. I look back on some of the people we have guided. I mean, I've literally guided legally blind people. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm thinking, okay.
And how is this going to work? Like this past year, the deal we did with the special needs kids and with that had Down syndrome, Big Dream Outdoors, I can promise you, because we grinded and like they are super way more mobile than what I'd expected and can do it. But there's still, you got to have some prayers and luck go your way. And trust me, if there was when we were in Wyoming down to the last hours of the hunt to finish the slam, if there was a time I would have been like, man, I'll slip you a 20 if we can just get a turkey. If somebody go put a turkey out.
I know, man.
But point being is, it's kind of like the same people who hate on somebody for fanning or hunting with a crossbow, whatever. That's the same type of people who look at you like, man, it must be nice. Or look at me like, man, it must be nice. Because they ain't got a clue the back work that goes into it. Like it was just like you wake up and like, hey, man, I got an idea. I want to do this show. Like they have no idea the legwork it took to even get to where the current day, like what the grind and the sacrifices that were made in life and financially just to get to even have a chance to. So those type people are the same category as them, saying that they don't know. Point being what you were saying, how we grinded and tried to learn every trick of the trade to manipulate and make it work. They have no idea what we've gone through to figure out. No. It ain't just holding a fan up. Yeah, there's turkeys you can kill that way, but there's also turkeys you can run over with your truck that ain't gonna get out of the way.
That's right.
I mean, it's like there's a difference in just walking out there with a fan above your head and like everything just like the Pied Piper to come running.
I had a guy tell me one time, said, I don't like decoys because it makes the turkey look stupid. And I said, well, hell, they are stupid until they, judge the redneck Great American Yelp off. They get kind of wise to certain things, but a turkey ain't never been claimed to be the highest
Yeah,
IQ,
I mean,
but
they
got insane credentials. And it's a question I want to ask you. Speaking of all this and that, like I said, I wanted to dive into that quick because we got a lot more. Because I know a lot of people when they say Phillip Culpepper, they know you're a turkey man. You are the turkey man. In my opinion, you're the modern day. I mean, I tell people all the time, like, my wife won't even turkey hunt with anybody but with you or I. And she would probably rather hunt with Phillip. She even said on the podcast before, she said, well, Phillip's more fun to hunt with than you.
And I've known Christy a long time, probably rivals going as long as I've known you. She has always been like my sister, but she probably, not to talk bad about you, but she probably would hunt with me more because I'll just shut up and just don't. So I just sit there and listen.
Oh, I know
and
it.
And then you,
but
probably about like you hunting with my wife because my wife is the same attitude. She's like, I ain't doing this.
Christy. To take them out hunting, if you finally got them up at 5 o'clock, and then can you imagine saying, well, let's not trick him this way.
Speed.
Hey, what? What? I want to kill that sucker. I thought you was good. Can you get him in? But how many did you keep up? How many turkeys did you see die this year?
I've got a list on my phone. I think just how many did I kill?
No. That's the second part. How many turkeys?
I think 54, 56
All right,
in the
now,
50s.
54 turkeys.
Yeah.
Now, that blows people's mind.
Going up a lot. I mean,
that's a lot.
I don't go
turkeys.
as hard as I once before.
There's been
I
times
was married.
a lot more
I had to put on the brakes. But
how
I mean,
many
granted,
of those did you shoot?
I've killed 3 turkeys. So
that should just shut the hell up some of these mama boys who post, and you'll see all these turkeys and limits they get, but they're talking about let them win, let them win. They ain't letting nobody else win but them. They don't talk about where the hunt is.
Ain't
just
no doubt.
them by themselves.
somewhere
in America, they don't take anybody else hunting. They're by themselves. So think about that, guys. If you listen to this riding down the road, 54 turkeys that Phillip Culpepper saw get shot, and he shot 3 of them. That tells you all you need to know about unselfishness. We're sharing this with others. But even on that, and again, I want to rant because I get mad because I see the hate that you get. It's like you talking about my goddamn.
It goes beyond. It even goes beyond. I'll share some.
Cohen hates when this subject comes up. Well, our producer, he's because like, man, Waddell's gonna go crazy.
Well, and
he knows if somebody comes up to me, I'm gonna be freaking like Tyson on somebody.
And even like, and I feel like I get more fired up like when somebody's talking about you, kind of like you are with me, to where it's kind of like. But it's kind of like, man, well, you can talk about me, but don't talk about him. So, but it's even when it crosses the lines, they start talking about your family and all. I'm like, all because of the way you choose to hunt. I'm like,
yeah,
like if man, go get a psychiatrist. Like here's a 1-800 number. Like, come on, man, like get a life. Like you're gonna talk about somebody's family and this and that and start diving into this on stuff over somebody using a turkey fan or a decoy. Like, I mean, come on.
Yep. And what's funny is I'm like you. I've slowed down a lot. This year, I think I counted. I had 33 turkeys I saw die this year. I did shoot 4. But look at the stats. Look at the stats between that and the average. Everybody thinks we're going out there and just wearing them out. Man, we're taking handicapped kids. You took all those kids with Down syndrome. You know, I mentioned taking a legally blind. I did learn that legally blind ain't like, Ray Charles. I mean, my wife says I'm probably legally blind myself because I can't see.
I know you can't see color.
I can't see color.
You're probably in
I can't see color.
Probably in Andy Griffith stage now. You used to be you couldn't see like pink or red. You're probably just straight black and white.
I'm legally deaf. I know I can't hear. At least my wife says I can't hear anything.
I remember that was like one of the first deer trips. I don't even know. It might have been in Georgia. I was like, man, like I was young. You shot a deer. We were tracking. I was like, is that blood? I don't know.
I don't know.
Damn, Michael Waddell don't know. Who's going to know?
I've honestly, I've really thought about this. I saw Georgia this year for the first time. I saw the news. Now you can use fluorescent orange or pink.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And what's odd is, do you know a colorblind person? Me,
and I don't even think that's politically motivated.
People I've been hunting before with you, with everybody I've ever hunted with.
Some people can't see
it. And people will
say,
dude, there's a guy over there on the hill with an orange vest, like especially out west when you're on public ground, which. Don't even get me started on public ground. Right. You never think we hunted public ground. And if somebody somebody's hunted as much as we've hunted private, public, Camp David, here, there, everywhere, where we should, probably sometimes where we don't want to say we ever was. But at the end of the day, I can't see fluorescent orange. Like I look over there, and guess what else? I can't see pink. I can't see.
So you're hosed either way.
I'm hosed either way. So, but if somebody will wear blue, like I can see blue easy,
right,
or like yellow. Matter of fact. Speaking of Cohen, our producer, the first year he worked at Bone Collector, we had blood trail that year. We hunted that fall, And that rolled around to the next May. My birthday came, and I never forget. He was so proud. He come all the way out to my house, and he brought me a pair of sunglasses, and they had this something in them that you could see color. Like it was a red green corrector. Now I think you're supposed to wear the more you wear them, the better it's supposed to get in seeing color. And I never forget. At the time I was living over there on Chattahoochee River. And my wife had a couple of these hot pink flamingos stuck out. Well, they always look like a drab gray to me. And I ain't lying to you.
Freaked out.
He gave me them dang spectacles. And we already done had a couple cold beers, and Cohen come up, and he had a little lady with him, and he said, man, he couldn't stand it. He said, man, I want you to have your birthday gift. And I opened them suckers like, oh, my God, I've always wanted a pair of these. I put them suckers on, and I'm like, oh my, it was like, I started looking at those pink flamingos and they're talking and I'm sitting there just staring at them like Sling Blade, like, oh my God, that's the most beautiful. I was wanting to cry.
Oh gosh.
Like hot pink is the most beautiful color. And then I had them all the way through the next fall. And daggum, I left them suckers in a rental car.
I mean, it's got to be, I mean, it truly is got to be like life changing to where you can't, I mean.
It blow you away.
I can't imagine.
But
I like blue with like dark blue and like gray and black. I get confused on because I've had on like, which I'm not the best dresser anyway. But my wife's like, "You gonna wear that?" I'm like, "Yes, pair of blue shorts." I'm like, no, it ain't. It's black.
It's terrible,
but I know
man.
it looks just straight one color to me.
If anybody's, if you are red green colorblind, it was so aggravating. Like blood trailing is so insane. I'll see blood and like, oh my God, look here's blood, and like, oh my God, there's a blood trail. They're looking 100 yards. They're like, oh okay, and I'm barely going. Phillip, it's been so good chatting with you,
Dude,
buddy.
thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I'll do it anytime.
Yeah.